Hello there everyone, Ash and Flash here, and welcome on into a very interesting LEGO news video. Today I just wanted to talk about how recently, with the release of some new sets, we've proven to LEGO that we want more of different things. And we've been shouting and talking about these things endlessly. I don't even know for how long here on the channel, and to be fair, some of them probably deserve more videos on their own, but recently, a lot of sets have gone on back order, which means that, at least here in North America, that they are selling well. People are interested in these things specifically. It's not that they're sold out, it's just that they have run out of their current stock. Sometimes sets will be delayed and on back order for a week, 2 weeks. Some of them are at 60 days. Now, that could mean a couple of things. It could mean that maybe they didn't expect the response for these sets, so they didn't produce and ship enough to meet everyone's excitement. But regardless, this is still a positive thing, and I really hope that LEGO pays attention to that. So what are the things that I want to talk about today? Well, number one is the Wicked sets, because this applies to beyond just Wicked, but even just other things like Wednesday and Disney. The two sets that went on back order recently from the whole batch of sets that released from LEGO, including Brickheads, Mini Dolls, and Minifigure sets, were, well, you guessed it, minifigures. Because this is something that we've been talking about for so long, that there needs to be offerings for everything. And again, this deserves its own separate video. So not to go too in-depth with it all, but I've talked about this before, but I really think that for the live-action Little Mermaid film, LEGO did a phenomenal job because they had offerings for everybody. They had the mini doll stuff there. They had even the micro mini doll stuff that I think obviously was meant to appeal more to a younger female audience. And then they also had the 18 plus set that was geared towards everybody. And I think that that's the thing about minifigures, is that for the most part, minifigures appeal to everybody versus mini dolls is a very specific audience for that there. So the ideal thing, I think people misunderstand when I don't really like mini dolls and I say that. I don't want them to go away. I don't want Friends to be touched at all. I think that it's great for what it's doing. I think there's some phenomenal sets in there and it works. I don't want them to touch that. But when they continuously do the repetitive stuff for Disney specifically of another Frozen Elsa Ice Castle, and we've never gotten a minifigure Frozen set. I mean, if you look at Moana for this year as well, like this to me is the perfect opportunity to have, okay, you released mini doll sets. That's great. You released the mini doll stuff. And then you also did buildable characters. But there is a missing quadrant of like this. If you break up the themes into like 4 for, I guess, these more female-centric themes, you've got the micro mini dolls, you've got the mini dolls, and then you've got buildable characters. Nothing minifigure wise for that is a huge missed opportunity, I think, for Moana 2. Was it a great movie? No. But it still would have been really cool to be getting minifigure versions of these characters. Because I think if you apply this to other themes, and I'm just realizing now maybe I should swap out the micro mini dolls for like Brickheads. But if you look at other themes like Wednesday, you have Brickheads, you have mini dolls, buildable objects and characters, no minifigures. Wicked, however, you apply that same thing, all 4 quadrants are being covered here. This is something that I personally believe that looking at other themes like Disney, I do feel like a broken record at this point that I just want to put all my thoughts into one full video. But the thing with this is, and I can't stress this enough, having both of these options is incredible. I love that these 2 sets specifically were the only ones to go on back order out of all the new ones that just released. It means that this is what people are buying and interested in. I think and I hope that sends such a clear message. Same with this. Arkham Asylum went on back order, and I don't think that this is as overpriced as a set as the last thing that we're going to talk about, because it does have almost 3,000 pieces. It has 16 minifigures. It's got like 21 prints just for the minifigures. It's a licensed set. I get the price for this. And this is so encouraging because I know that, again, it's another Batman set. So that's a little frustrating, but it does show that they can dedicate big modulars to DC and not just doing Marvel ones. I really think this sends a very clear message to Lego that we want more than what they're giving us when it comes to Batman and DC. And I'm really, really happy that this did go on back order, because as great as the Marvel buildings are, I love them a lot. It just needs to be more balanced. And ideally, what they do is they just go their separate ways. Have Marvel and DC be two separate themes. Will that ever happen? I don't know, but I think that that's the better way to treat things. And the last thing here that I want to talk about, it's still on back order. Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. Despite the controversial, strange name of not calling it the Black Pearl and the very high price for this, it is still on back order, which is so encouraging to see that after all these years that there's still such an interest and love for the IP of Pirates of the Caribbean. And I really hope that Lego listens to this and they go, you know what, if they weren't already, they're going to go ahead and hopefully greenlight some other Pirates of the Caribbean sets, which I did do a video talking about top 10 sets that I'd like to see them do. You guys also voted on my poll on the community tab what you'd like to see be the next ship, which no surprise there, Flying Dutchman. So I really, really hope that Lego listens, that we need minifigures for the quote-unquote mini doll themes. We need more DC and Batman sets. We need more Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. So I think this is just almost like an encouragement video, because I'm so happy that every time that I talk about these things of themes returning and different things, I'm like, we need to support this. We need to support the Superman mech, which went on back order when the movie came out in July. So all these little things, I really hope sends a clear message to Lego that we want more of these things. Not another mini doll Frozen castle over and over again. Not another Hulkbuster or Endgame Final Battle. Like, there's so much more that Lego can be and should be doing, and I think that this is a very clear message for that. I just want to add one last thing here, and it's an observation. The online reaction and reception to sets are not representative of actual sales of sets, because people were so angry online about the Pearl. They're angry about Arkham, not as much, and of course with the $1,000 Death Star. So it's going to be really interesting to see on October 4th, when that set launches, what will happen with that. I do have some videos coming out here on the channel this week talking about the Death Star a little bit more, but I just think it's really interesting that just because everybody's yelling and angry and upset online, it's not the same thing as the general population of people consuming these products. So anyways, everyone, what do you think of these? Did you pick up any of these? Are you part of the reason why these sets are doing well? Comment it down below. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you will have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.